Hey guys, it's Laurel, and how are you guys doing? It is late. It is almost 8:30 at night. It's Saturday, what's today's date? The 7th, and it has been a busy day. Um, the usual grocery shopping, but then I decided to do a little rearranging, move some things out, bring in a new shelving unit or something, not for yarn, other places in the house. And You can't see it in the dark tundra back there, but my dining room table is covered with stuff that needs to be organized and a home found for it. You never know how much stuff you have, tucked in little corners and in places that you just don't think of all the time. So I have a lot to do tomorrow as well. So this is late, and hopefully this will be quicker than normal. I'm gonna bend because I dropped my book. Okay, and excuse the lighting. Like I said, it's late and I don't have good lighting in here, so this is it. So, hopefully I would have put in a few little clips that I took. One is of birds outside the house. When I went out today to go grocery shopping, they just like lifted up like Alfred Hitchcock. Tons of birds. The other thing is, I think I put in a picture of Minion 2 cooking. He made us dinner last night, and it was absolutely delicious. He made a chili, and there's none left. So it was that good. So hopefully he'll keep that going, because I'm not a fan of cooking anyway, so only when I have to. The other one is I bought some applesauce the week before. Some apples the week before. You probably heard Minion 2 talking about it in the last video. Oh, and by the way, yes, we went out and had dinner, and he enjoyed his steak. So all's well that ends well. He got to have a steak, but he was eating an apple at one point, and it wasn't very good. So I decided to make applesauce, and it's quite good. So it'll hopefully keep me from snacking on other sugary things, because that's my weakness, sugar. So I made some applesauce. Yep. And also books. In the process of cleaning and moving things around, I forgot how many books I had. Now, I'm a self-confessed romance reader, or used to be. I haven't read a book in a long time. Ever since crochet really took over my life and yarn took over my life, there isn't a lot of reading. I used to read comic books, all the Marvel comics. I have a bunch of them. I have about 3 boxes, 3.5, 4 boxes of comic books. Yeah, and I have a stack that I never got to read because it just sat there on my nightstand because I started playing with yarn. So, but in rearranging things, I forgot how many books I had. And I used to be part of, I don't know if you guys, I think they're still around, Doubleday Book Club. Yeah. So, Nora Roberts, Jude Devereaux, Laverne Spencer, and Joanna Lindsay. Those, I was huge into them. Huge. Especially Nora Roberts and Jude Devereaux always came out with these little, 3 or 4 book sets, and I always had to have them. So I have a ton of them that I've just been holding on to, and now I need to clear it out. So I need to get a big box, and hopefully the Savers, the donation place, will be taking them, hopefully. Or I'll be calling the library too to see if they take any of those books. I don't know, but I need to find a home for it. It's a lot of books. So yeah, that's what I was doing today, as well as other, usual weekend tasks and such. So, a couple of things to mention. For some reason, I was unsubscribed from Granny D. Now, I know I subscribed to her right when, I think, either when she had her second video out, I was subscribed to her, and I was getting notification, and all of a sudden it stopped, and I didn't really notice until this week, and I went to check, and I was unsubscribed. So periodically check your the people you're subscribed to. They may still show up in your feed because you've watched them or watched similar videos, but make sure you check to see if you're still subscribed, because I was definitely unsubscribed. This is the 3rd time this year this has happened. One was with yarn and hook shell. I forget who the other two were, but, or the other one was. So this is the third time. All right. What else? So there is a make-along going on right now. It's called the BIPOC Mal 2019. It's basically to showcase people of color, their designs, either if they're yarn dyers. So to participate, there's a Facebook group. If I remember, I'll put a link below to Desamore Designs. She's the one running it. It's also on Instagram. So if you do the hashtag, which I will put on the screen with that, but you either use a, ooh, it's blinking. Why is that blinking? I don't know why that's blinking. It's not good. Anyway, you either use a pattern from BIPOC or the yarn from a BIPOC. But yeah, just if you want to participate, check out those two. Either check out the Instagram link that I'll put below, hopefully, and the Facebook one. So I have already done one that I will show later in Finished Objects. And also, I just got tagged today by Kim, Pettis Kim of Crafty Nomad. She actually did one of my patterns, which I was so thrilled and honored that to be even part of it as a designer. So I really appreciate that, Kim, so very much. And yours came out awesome. Very, very nice. So, all right. As far as whips, I don't have anything actively. I have one. I'm working on another of my hat for the I have a little bit of a headache too. Wow, I just went blank. I'm working on another hat for the collaboration that I'm in because one of the things that I haven't and I need to learn to do as a designer is put in gauge. And personally, I don't work with gauge because I don't do garments and such. And for me, hats, if I know the multiples, I can get the hat to fit. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. My brain is resisting very much so. So I'm trying to make another one to do that and to incorporate some of the suggestions that the tech editor gave me. I put in most of the corrections, but that one I'm struggling with. So that's my only active whip. The other things I'm just working on more toys or octos really, and headbands for my upcoming fair, which is in a week from tomorrow. Oh, where did the time go? That I ended up watching, and I don't know why I didn't do that before, but I watched a video on the site that's hosting the fair, or it's a festival. And if the video is accurate and it's from last year, there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people there. And it said, I just got an email today about, the arrival times and what you need to do. And it mentioned that there were about 40,000 people that went through the streets of the festival. And now I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to have enough. So that kind of stress is coming back. So I'm trying not to let it overtake me. And I'm just, since it's going to be still warm, that was Father Minion who dropped his phone. Happens all the time. Since it's still going to be warm, people are going to be more resistant to buying a hat or a cowl. It'll be outside. Hopefully it doesn't rain. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. So I'm trying to make more headbands and toys to have for that. So hopefully that'll suffice for anyone who doesn't buy anything for warmer weather. So that's where I am as far as whips. Okay. So for the book giveaway, I will put that at the end because I'm trying to get through everything. So finished objects. The first one I have is I had the privilege of doing a test for Amber of Crochet. Hello, Miss Amber. Now, you guys, if you've seen her video, you know what it's about. It's Spooky, the Friendly Ghost. And what I noticed, or I realized, that I don't have a lot of white yarn in stash. Like, I have a couple of super bulky that I use for the headbands. I have half a skein of Karen Simply Soft Party, the sparkly one. But other than that, I really don't have white or off-white yarn in stash. So what I ended up doing is I used what I had. So, and what I had was Red Heart with Love in the color, I think is Iced Aqua. So when I look at him, he looks more like he's a distant relative of Squidward. So, but again, it's Spooky the Friendly Ghost. Amber and Ella of No Catchy Name, they are going to have a crochet along, a Halloween crochet along. It's going to start next Friday the 13th. Very appropriate. And you get extra points, or extra, is it points? I don't know what it's called. Extra points for using one of their patterns. I think you get 5 extra points or 5 extra entries for using one of their patterns if you enter this crochet along. But it's anything Halloween themed. And I think all crafts are allowed, at least in Ella's. So anyway, Amber's pattern is Casper the Friendly Ghost. Oh, and excuse the nails. I like how nail polish makes my hand look less manly and stubby, but then I forget it's on, and then it never lasts long on my fingers. So, because I'm always in the water doing this and that, so, and then I get too lazy to change it. So excuse the ratty nails. Anyway, so this is mine. And because I did not have any, I should probably show you his face. Because I didn't have any white yarn, or off-white yarn even in stash, I used this Iced Aqua. And she mentioned that there's did she say it was a bump? But the increases and decreases in the pattern, because when you're doing an amigurumi head, you're just used to the regular increases. So this one had a few in there. And then I will say at first, because sometimes I do overthink patterns, I struggled with the hand because it wasn't coming out as big as it looked in hers. I totally missed a part of it, and I think I do think that she's included a tutorial for the hand, which I think will be very helpful, especially if it's somebody newer to amigurumi doing that. It will be helpful to them. But I was able to figure it out after asking her a couple of questions. So his hands are in, and she was saying that it had he had 4 fingers. I never noticed that before. I never pay attention that closely. So yeah, and of course you have the longer part to make it look like it's flowing and floating. So this is Casper, and it's out there, and it is on sale at 30% off. On Amber's is on Ravelry. I don't know if it's on Etsy, but Ella's pattern is she has 3 patterns out there she did for it. It's on Etsy, and both of them have it at 30% off for, I believe, is up to the start of the Cal. Pretty sure. But head on out there. It's pretty inexpensive. So grab it while you can. And Casper's going to go. Say goodnight. So that was Casper. And both of these, this is another gray, I think it's pewter. So I just wanted to add a little interest. Oops. So that's that. I think because it's not white, his eyes look very buggy, but he's smiling. So that's Casper. And where else? So I mentioned, and hopefully I don't cause an avalanche because I have a pile on the desk. So I mentioned the BIPOC Mal going on, and I'm going to try to participate. I don't know if I'll get anything more than this one pattern done because, like I said, craft fair. It's like Kalisha always says, because Florida. Speaking of, I used Kalisha's Orion mesh beanie, and that's what I made. It's a quick mesh beanie, and for Florida, it's great this time of year. Not so great for around here. Probably the fall is fine, especially if you're having a bad hair day, actually. And I wore this twice already because, you know, me and hair, I don't do the whole hair styly thing. That's one reason I do miss my my longer hair, because I was just able to pull it back and put a hat on and it looked great, and now it takes effort now. Anyway, this is the Orion mesh beanie. Hers is done, and I'll put in a better picture because it's nighttime and it's not looking so great. Hers is done all in one color. Mine, I like the contrast, but it's also because I ran out. I made the large size. I should have made at least a medium size for myself because this is a little big, and I had to, Kalisha, I had to make a little modification to the brim, and it's still a little wide on me. But I thought because of my, you know, new hairdo that I would need it, and I don't. I guess my head is not as big as I thought it is, but I ran out of this. This is a Bernat Super Value, and I forget. I think it's taupe or something. And then this is Red Heart with Love in black. But she said she's never done it. All the time she's made them, she's never done it in contrasting, but there you go. And my brim's a little longer than hers because I was trying to reduce and make it a little snugger on my head. So this is the Orion Mesh Beanie by Kalisha Nadiratani of Quirky Monday Crafts. That's done. The other thing that I did, I made some octos. I made some octos out of this purple yarn because this is yarn that I used to make Christmas gifts for my nieces last year. And I bought more than I needed, of course, and it's just been sitting there, so perfect opportunity. First, what did I use it in? First, I made a little Sherelle headband at my weekly yarn meetup. One of the members is, she's originally from Arkansas, but she's been here for, I think, 5 years. And she's now moving to, or she just moved this week to Michigan. So I gifted her a big button cowl and a Kalina headband. And then her last night was this past Wednesday, so I made her daughter a little, color's terrible right now in this light, but this is a Sherelle headband I made for her daughter. Well, one exactly like this for her daughter, and then there's another member in the group. They were pregnant. When I first joined the group, they were pregnant at the same time, and then they ended up giving birth the same day. I think one was late, one was early, and it ended up being the same day. So I made the other member's daughter a headband to match. So this is Red Heart Soft, and I forget what the colorway is, but it's the variegated purple one. And then I had other colors there, a lilac color as well, because both my nieces wanted purples last year. So I just decided to make, and hopefully I'll remember to put a picture of those two. Oh, I hear footsteps. I'm recording.
Yeah, it's just how I'm shirtless.
I can't see you because it's dark. Goodbye. So yeah, I made some octos. So yeah, this one is the variegated with, and the variegated, they're both 4s, but the variegated was way smaller, way thinner than the regular lilac, which is the tentacles. So, and of course it's Minion 1 making noise. And then I reversed it and I did the lilac and the variegated. And then I held them double-stranded, and I made that one, and I added the googly eye And this is the googly eye that has the backing to it. I have some that I've glued on before, but these are actual safety eyes. So there's that. There's such a mess here of stuff. I was semi-cleared out and I had to bring it all back for the video. Okay, so speaking of Sherelle, thank you, I should say, to everyone who has purchased a pattern, Timber, who's purchased a pattern of the Sherelle headband, and I hope you are finding it easy enough for you to make and that you make a lot of them. But if you do, guys, a few of us have mentioned this before who have patterns out there, don't just buy it, make it, and if you're still on Ravelry, post, put your project out there and link it to the original pattern. That is really helpful. So, public service announcement. But I made a whole bunch of them. I was trying to use up the rest of that lilac and variegated yarn. So I made 2 of these, one big, one smaller. And then I held the lilac and the variegated double-stranded along with latte cakes. And I made this one, and I'm sorry, the color is just blown out by the light that I had to turn on. So there's that one. And then this one was the variegated double-stranded, and that's a smaller one. And then I believe this was the variegated double-stranded again, a bigger one. Okay, and then this one, I started with the lilac and just the latte cakes, and I ran out of the lilac, so then I added the variegated at the top. So it blends, and you can't see it, but it blends just fine.
Can you see me?
No, I can't see you. It's just a black hole. Goodbye.
Can you see the green? All right.
Anyway, and then I had some Heartfelt Heritage, which is AC Moore's version of Hometown, the Studio by Nicole version. So I had a half a skein or so of a white one, so I used it up, and I made these, and it's totally blown out. So, like I said, I'm trying to stock up on those. I have quite a few Kalina headbands already, so I'm trying to stock up on those for the fair. Okay. Oh, off topic, by the way. I had this little, what do you call it? A mesh bag that you throw delicates in, and I'm using it as a little yarn holder to keep it from totally unraveling on me, because I pull from the center, and when you get to a certain point it starts caving in on itself. So Dollar Tree, $1. So yeah, it works. All right, I have some more headbands to do with. This was the variegated I used, and I have it in her name's right there, T-Doddles. In her little midi maker bag. I use it as a little cake holder. So I do not remember. I think this is the elderberry colorway, and it went perfect with that red heart. The lilac and the variegated purple one, it went perfect, and the hooks in there. All right. All right, next one is, what else? Do I have anything else before I show that one? I have 2 more, I think, for you guys. I just did with the yarn that was gifted to me, I just made a plain beanie. This is the Sprinkle Cakes, I believe. I think this one is called Birthday Sprinkle or something. But, yeah, I just made a plain knitted beanie. So that's that. And then 2 more, I believe. I don't think I have anything else. So, who made this first? Oh my gosh. Who made this? And I just had to make it. Drawing a complete blank. Was it Amber? No, Debbie. It was Debbie. Oh my gosh, the Canadian crocheter. So she made a Yip Yip. And now she was telling me about them, and I'm like, huh? I had no recollection of them. I mean, I watched Sesame Street, but, you know, I remembered certain characters, but I don't remember plots or stories or what have you. Now, you know, this Big Bird, Oscar the Grouch is my favorite, by the way. But I don't remember this character or these characters. The Yip Yips. Yip Yip. I do not. So she made it, and I'm like, huh? And I had to look them up. And I'm like, oh, okay. It still just really wasn't ringing a bell, but it's stuck in my head. So I looked over, and I'm like, oh, what can I make it out of? And then I spotted this. So this is the Joann's Big Twist Natural Blend. They clearanced out a bunch of them last year, and I don't know if it was a particular batch or colors or whatever, because I think they still have them. But this was definitely on clearance, and I have a bunch of it. So I ended up using it to make one, and it's the same makeup as Thick and Quick. It's 80-20, except these used to say hand wash. And I was wondering why, because it's 80-20, just like the Thick and Quick, which is machine washable. I've never machine washed it. I mean, I've never hand washed it. I've thrown it in the machine, and it's fine. It's a little more, I think, just a tad bit more, the texture's a little different than Thick and Quick, and I think that's why they were clearancing it out, because they have it back, and it's basically identical now to Thick and Quick. If you see the two together, virtually identical. So maybe they were just clearancing out the way, kind of the way that Walmart yarn is now different. The mainstay yarn, I think this is the same thing. They changed the makeup of it because the new ones look just like Thick and Quick. But anyway, Debbie corrected me that these guys are supposed to be in primary colors. I didn't realize that either. So I'm going to try to make another one. I don't know if I'll get it done before the craft fair, because I think this will probably be a really good conversation starter at the craft fair. So I'm going to try to bust out another one in primary colors this time, Debbie, for the craft fair. I think I may have some Zumba yarns from Michael's. They got rid of that, or they got rid of a bunch of colors last year. And I think I might have a couple skeins left. Not sure. But anyway, so this is him in gray. And if I don't have the Zumba yarns, I still have other skeins of this that I could still use and make another one. And I was watching somebody else on YouTube, and I do not remember who they are, but it's another crochet channel that I came across, and I didn't write it down. But she had made these back in May. Whew. She had made these back in May, and in the March or May. And she said she used, I think, ping pong balls for the eyes, but it took a bit to put the holes through it because they were so hard. And she mentioned that the Dollar Tree, you can probably get it at Dollar Tree, and it's softer, and it's definitely much softer at the Dollar Tree, because, you know, everything at the Dollar Tree, for the most part, is a little, quality is a little different. Still usable, but a little different. So they're definitely softer. You can just squeeze them. So if you do make them and you get them from the Dollar Tree, just be aware that the eyes are softer. If you do ping pong balls, legit ping pong balls, they'll be a little harder to put the hole in so you can get these have to go through it, the antennas. So this is the Yip Yip. All right. Last thing that I just did, I think I finished it last night. I've got fluff flying everywhere. Kim, hey Kim, of Blue Cherub 82. She's having SOS, Sharon Ayala, September. She is just like, she's doing the is it Vlogtember, the video every day in September. And she's doing a pattern of Sharon Ayala's, either every day or over the course of her videos. It's all about Sharon Ayala. And if you guys don't know who Sharon Ayala is, you totally should. I will put a link to her channel. She has awesome videos on her amigurumi. So if you want to do amigurumi and want a great video, she's definitely the way to go. And her patterns are free on her blog. She has free tutorials, and I believe you can buy the PDFs, but great patterns. And because they're free, I think once, not twice, I'm pretty sure once, I've already, I think she has a donation button that I've done. I try to do that every once in a while for anyone who has free patterns that I use a lot. I'll try to hit that donation button once in a while. So anyway, all this to say that I made her little crochet teddy bear. It's a quick make, but I have two things. One, the color that I use, the yarn, I can't stand it. Maybe it would be great in something else because I like the bold, bright colors, the saturated colors, but in this bear, I don't like it. And there's an option to put a thumb on the hands of the bear, and I did that, and I wish I hadn't. I didn't do it on the legs. I'm glad about that, but look at that. It's totally being blown out, but this is the little bear. I sewed the legs on a little too far forward. It should have been back a little, but still can sit. It's got the little tail. Look at that. Got my button on the bottom. But yeah, this yarn is Red Heart, Fair Isle, and hold on. Keep looking and not looking. Flamenco, Fair Isle, and I don't like it for amigurumi at all. I don't. And Red Heart is one of my favorite yarns to do amigurumi in. Doing clothing and such, nope. My very first blanket, my me blanket, maybe I'll show it again. I don't know if I've ever shown it. It's still there. It's a little worn out, but it's still there. And you know, with Red Heart, if you wash it over time, it softens up a lot. But I don't like this variegated. Maybe it might work in a different amigurumi, but for this one, no. But I love the bear. It's like a one night, you know, I forget how many hours I worked on it, but it was done basically in a little bit. So yeah. So Kim, SOS. This is my participation. I don't know if I'll be able to get something else in, but I got one in. Do you have a hashtag for that? I don't think so. I think I checked your last post and I didn't see it. But let me know if you have a hashtag for Instagram. But look. You can't even see the smile. I didn't want to do, I tried white, but it didn't look right. And it just all gets lost in the variegation. So if it was more like this, that would have been great. But this mottled, yeah, I don't like it. But somebody might, because it's going in the stash for the craft fair. So there's that. And I think that is all I have. So I am going to send you over to see who won the, oh, before I do that, Amber also had offered up 2 patterns that I can do a giveaway. So before I send you over to the book winner, for Amber's pattern, 2 winners, and I will leave it open until Thursday. I think Kim's doing the same thing too, so I'm going to copy her. I'm going to leave it open until next Thursday and announce the winner. That way you can have it in time for the start of the CAL if you're going to participate in there. So I had a question and I forgot what it was. So since I don't remember what it is, then there is no question. Just, you're going to have to make a comment below because I do a comment picker. So put spooky ghost. Just write that below in whatever. If you're interested in the pattern, there'll be 2 winners. If you're interested, write down in whatever you comment, make sure you have spooky ghost in there, and when I pick on Thursday, I will know that you're interested in that. So yeah, I will pick it Thursday after work and do a quick video to announce the winner. So what I'm going to do is send you over now to the winner of the book, and I will be right back.
Hey guys, this is Laurel, and I'm just going to pick the winner of the book for the 350 crochet book. So there were 102 unique commenters. So let's see who the winner will be. Mary Shaker, 350 book. Hope you had a great dinner. I'm new here. Well, welcome. Do I do tutorials? I do demonstrations of sorts. I don't do full tutorials, so never say never, but that's not in the cards right now. So Mary, my information will be down below. Send me an email of where you would want that shipped out to, and I will have that in the mail to you out soon. Thanks. Bye.
Mary, my information will be below. You need to send me an email of where you want that book. Congratulations. Send me an email of where you want the book sent out to, and I will have that out to you as soon as possible. On that note, I believe I'm all set. I believe that's all. I'm going to go back to, first I got to clean up the table, and going back to making octos and headbands for the craft fair. All right. Oh, hang on. Somebody wants to say hi. So this person has been stationed near where I was doing the cleanup since I last made it. And I finally had to move it, and now I got to find a place for her. She'll be coming with me to the craft fair. But remember this huge girl? I think she was like 3 feet tall. This is Georgette, a giant bunny. So Georgette has been hanging out on a chair next to all this stuff I had to move around. So we are going to say goodnight, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.